so today I am going to be ranking all of the AG movies from worst to best. So let's get started. And if you're new here, make sure you subscribe because I'm trying to hit 232 subscribers by the end of the month and 400 subscribers by the end of the year. So let's get started. Alright, so I based all of these off of how much they were like the books and how good they were. So one was basically I wasted like 45 minutes to an hour and a half of my life watching the video, and 10 is like best movie ever. So without further ado, so I am doing both the AG movies and the Amazon Prime movies, and then I'm going to be ranking each of them separately, and then, oh, there she goes. Alright, so I'm going to be ranking both the AG original movies and then the Amazon movies, and then I'm going to be ranking them both together, so pretty much combining them, and then I'm also going to explain why I pretty much put it in that spot. So for the AG one, and the worst one was Kit. So Kit got a 4 out of 10, and the reason she is the worst is because her movie literally wasn't anything like the books. Like, it had some of the same characters and some of the same problems as the original. It had some of the same characters and some of the same problems as the books. It just felt more like an add-on to the books than what the movie was like. So then we have Samantha. I gave this a 5 out of 10. So first off, I just want to say Samantha's books aren't really my favorite. Out of all of them, it's just like, I want to say, so generic and like kind of boring, especially since I've read her books a lot. So like watching it, I wasn't like that impressed with it, so that's why it's lower down on the list. So then we have Leah to the Rescue. I gave this a 5 out of 10. I thought this was very good, even though it didn't follow the book as much. I thought they still did a very good job making it like a mystery. I just wish that maybe could have followed like a little bit more of the books than just a tiny little bit at the beginning. So then we have Felicity. I gave this 6.5 out of 10. So this one, so like the Samantha books, they're kind of boring. Actually, all of the historical books are kind of boring at this point since I've listened to them so much. But I thought they did a really good job making it into a movie, and I was actually pretty impressed with it, like more impressed than Felicity, so that's good. And then we have Sage Paints the Sky. I also gave this a 6.5 out of 10. This one followed the books fairly well, and I haven't read those books in a while, so it was harder to compare, but it followed the books pretty similarly. Mimi broke her ankle, they were fighting to get Art back, and she was also practicing for the parade, and it followed the books very well. Really liked that. So then we have Isabel Dances into the Spotlight. Once again, very good. They did change a little bit about it, but I felt like, unlike Kit or Leah, it was more of like a good change than a bad change. Like, they made it so that it was still following the story pretty much. It wasn't like Kit or Leah where it was a completely different story. Then we have Race Stirs Up Success. I gave this a 7 out of 10. I thought this was pretty good. Once again, it followed the story really well, and I just really liked it. Like, not as much as I thought was, but it was like kind of funny, and it was a really good book. So now we're moving into the top 3. So in third place we have Molly and American Girl on the Home Front. This was good. I absolutely loved this movie when I was younger. Once again, it follows most of the same things as the book, and most of the historical movies is that kind of like interweave stuff to make it fit better. So for example, it was Christmas time when her dad came home, so it just followed the story very well, and once again there were changes, but they were very good changes. So in second place we have Krista Stands Strong. I gave this an 8 out of 10. First of all, I just want to say I've never read books, but the way that they did it, like, even if I hadn't read the books, like, I most likely would have been able to get the same idea, and it's like a very good, it's a very good movie. It talks a lot about bullying, which is good, and it's just a really good and enjoyable movie. So then in first place we have McKenna Shoots for the Stars. It's actually been a while since I've read this. Like, I read this right when she came out, and now I'm in high school, so been a while since I've read her books, but from what I remember, this followed the storyline like almost exact. Like, since I haven't read the books in a while, it's hard to tell, but like if they did change it, like I don't think I noticed that much. So the McKenna one, I know that they definitely did. They pretty much followed the story word for word for the book. So now on to the ones from Amazon. So next we have the Amazon ones. So in last place we have C Summer Camp Friends for Life. I gave this a 4 out of 10 because this didn't follow the storyline at all. Nothing was the same. It was just like they made a story and then decided to add like American Girl characters into it almost. It felt like it wasn't even an American Girl movie because it didn't follow the storyline. Now I know all the Amazon ones don't follow the story as much, but they don't follow the storyline as much as the originals, but they do still try and follow it a little bit. Next we have Mary Ellen and Extraordinary Christmas. I gave this a 6.5 out of 10. This one was super cool. I loved how it talked about polio, and this one kind of went along with the story. Like, it kind of kept along with the books pretty well, and they did change some things, but once again, they changed it so that it fit with the storyline pretty well. So then in second place we have Ivy and Julie, A Happy Balance, which I gave a 7 out of 10. This one was like following Ivy's story, like the book that came with the Ivy doll, and it's been a while since I've read that book, but they did a good job following it, and Ivy was struggling whether to go to gymnastics or her family's Chinese New Year, and she was trying to figure all of that out. In first place we have Melody, Love Has to Win. I gave this one 8.5 out of 10. Once again, this didn't really follow the story. Once again, it kind of did, but at the same time it kind of didn't. So the reason it's so higher up is because I just love how much they talk about the civil rights movement and how Black Lives Matter they still do today. So yeah, I just love how they were like talked about so much and like made it so accurate and stuff. Alright, so now I'm going to be ranking all of them together. So I'm not really going to be explaining about them because I already did before, so I'm just going to be reading them off. So in last place we have Kit, An American Girl, C Summer Camp Friend for Life, Samantha, An American Girl Holiday, Leah to the Rescue, Felicity, An American Girl Adventure, Mary Ellen, An Extraordinary Christmas, Sage Paints the Sky, Julie and Ivy, A Happy Balance, Isabel Dances into the Spotlight, Grace Stirs Up Success, Molly, An American Girl on the Home Front, Krista Stands Strong, McKenna Shoots for the Stars, and in first place we have Melody, Love to Win. So that's just my personal opinion. Comment down below how you would have ranked them, and I will respect your opinion if you respect my opinion. So I really hope you enjoyed. Make sure you comment down below your ranking, or if you agree with anything I said. And yeah, please comment, like, subscribe. Bye!